evening, like we see here maybe once or twice a year. That's why I was out walking in it. At a crossroads a couple of miles from the house, Paul joined me. I was pleased to see him. I'm always pleased to see anyone when they get where I believed Paul was at that point. He joined me silently, and we walked on. It was 10 minutes before he spoke. "I'm done." I smiled as warmth poured through my heart. Warmed by the memory of the day, I came to the same startling and improbable conclusion for myself, and warm for the times I had heard it from others. Warm knowing the journey one takes to arrive at such a place, and warm knowing what lies ahead. That's how it is when you get there. No bells and whistles, no radiant backlighting, no choirs of angels. As Layman Payne put it, you're just an ordinary fellow who has completed his work. "I have no more questions," Paul said. He didn't just mean he had no more questions for me. He meant that he had no more questions, period. That's how it is when you get to the end. You're just done. What he wasn't saying, though he could have, was that he now knew all there was to know. Everything. He had arrived at the end of knowledge and now possessed the only perfect knowledge. He wasn't saying it because it's too big to say, but I knew he was thinking it because it was true, and it's too big not to think. We continued walking. The moon was 3/4 full and lent a radiant sheen to the fresh snow spread like a satin sheet over a slumbering earth. Paul didn't say anything else until we got back to the house. It occurred to me that he had probably been done for a few weeks and had spent the time getting accustomed to this new and unexpected state. That's how it is at the end. Even if you've been told 1,000 times that there's an end to knowledge, to seeking, you're stunned and perplexed when you reach it. You've spent a few years fighting battle after battle, each more grueling than the one before, and never with any expectation whatsoever that you'll ever really emerge victorious in this life. And then, one day, there it is. Nothing. No more enemies. No more battles. The sword that seems welded to your hand can now be dropped, once your fingers can be pried from it. There's nothing left to contend against, and nothing left that must be done. And there will never be anything that must be done ever again. Even then, it's very possible that you don't know what you are or where you are. It's just over, and nothing comes along to replace it. In novels, you see freshly converted vampires wondering what their new status entails. Am I a vampire or just nuts? What's the deal with garlic and crucifixes and sunlight and coffins? Am I immortal? How do I verify it? What's true and what's myth? It can be like that. I've heard that the Zen guys say it takes 10 years to get the hang of it, and for them that means 10 years in the most conducive imaginable environment, a Zen monastery where it's all enlightenment, 24/7, 365. Imagine, on the other hand, spending that adjustment period in the midst of a society that devalues spirituality, and in which even the spiritual experts are unwitting masters of disinformation. That can be a damned peculiar 10 years. And what comes after? Well, as I understand from practitioners of Jnana Yoga who have spoken to me of it, my apologies to them and anyone else whose teachings I'm distorting in this book, one emerges from that 10-year period of assimilating as a jnani, one who knows. That's what I am, I suppose, but the process of reduction that brought me from ajnani to jnani is not over. Even now it takes a conscious effort to maintain my false self, my dream character, to animate it, to keep it running. And this trajectory I'm on will take me as close to non-existence as anyone can get and still have a body. In other words, I will continue to channel progressively less and less energy into my dream state being. My teaching will reduce down to its most refined and least tolerant form. My interests will withdraw from the world, and I will become as minimal as a person can be. Whether or not Jnana Yoga or Zen Buddhism or any other system confirms this process is moot, because I confirm it myself, directly. I don't defer to teachers or teachings. I see myself receding in this manner. Writing this book has accelerated the process, but this is where the road has always led. When Krishna finished what he came to do, he entered a forest and just kept walking until he collapsed from fatigue. A passing hunter mistook his feet for the ears of a deer and killed him with a single arrow. That walk might be viewed as the progressive withdrawal of energy. So maybe when my time comes, I'll just walk off into the tall corn until I drop from fatigue and have my feet mistaken for ripe ears of corn by a passing John Deere harvester. End of Disc 1.